This is Shabir Khan, your presenter today. Today, our topic is going to be very interesting. As you can see in the background, the question is what is ubiquitous? So, our topic is what is ubiquitous learning indeed? Ubiquitous learning or U-learning is a new learning paradigm as we move from the conventional learning to e-learning or electronic learning, and from electronic learning to mobile or m-learning, and now we are shifting to a new paradigm that is called u-learning or ubiquitous learning. Ubiquitous learning is basically is an invisible and calm technology that recedes into the background of our lives. Before we dive deeper into the ubiquitous learning, let's see what ubiquitous is. Ubiquitous means existing or being everywhere at the same time, present, appearing, and found everywhere. The word ubiquitous is derived from Latin word ubique, which means everywhere or omnipresent. Let's see how historically the ubiquitous learning evolved, where the journey started from, and how it has emerged as a new learning paradigm. We know there were different waves of computers. The first wave was called mainframe computer wave, which was somewhere between 1960s to late 1970s. The mainframe computers were so big that were housed in a room-sized metal boxes, which was also called as a big iron. Even some mainframe computers would cover the space between 2,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet areas. The mainframe computers had a distinct feature as we would be moving ahead, so that is pertinent to discuss. There was one computer being used by many, and the functions being performed then were far more simple as compared to today's computer usage. Then there came another wave called a second wave or personal computers. Personal computers were somewhere between 1980s to late 90s, where each home and each office had access to the computers and the laptops. It was an era of one person, one computer. The third wave came between 2000 and it still is continued. And the third wave is called ubiquitous computer wave. Let's see who was the founding father or who laid the foundation stone of the U-learning or ubiquitous learning. Mark Weiser in 1991, who was working in the Xerox Power Company in the United States, wrote an article for American Research Journal, Computers of 21st Century. He then predicted that the world will evolve and the computers will start disappearing and will work invisibly in the background like today it is. The main the reason behind that was that ubiquitous, as from the word we have already discussed, that omnipresent, everywhere, found everywhere. It is for the reasons or that today multiple computers are being used by an individual. Some we have got laptops or mobiles in front of us, mobiles in our hands, and there are many other things that are smart enough being supported by the computers which we don't see. The world computer and internet is growing faster. We have got WAN, wide area network, local area and personal area networks. Internet has progressed, the speed has progressed by leaps and bounds. 3G, 4G, even now 5G are on its way. Computers have now started disappearing. All appliances that we are using today are smart enough. to understand human needs through intelligence of things, which refers to the usage of the sensors, processors, and softwares, artificial intelligence, augmented intelligence, virtual reality or augmented reality. These all are strengthening the idea or the practice of ubiquitous learning around us. Then comes the definition controversy. How different researchers envisage or view you learning. Some call it that you learning means anywhere, anytime learning. But this definition does not fit. It rather matches or mixes with M learning. You learning and M learning have, if we rely on the same definition that anywhere or anytime learning, so there would be at least or rather no difference between you and M learning, because in the M learning, mobile learning too has the same features of being able to help person study anywhere at any place and at any time. So then what is the difference that creates a distinction between the U learning and M learning? As we've discussed, U learning is a learning paradigm which takes place in ubiquitous computing environment, which we'll discuss later on that what ubiquitous computing environment is. It enables students to learn the right things at the right place, at the right time, and in the right way. That is ubiquitous learning. When you are learning the right things at the right place, the right time, and in a very right way, in the right manner, it is ubiquitous learning. But that, how come that is possible? That could only be possible if the environment is absolutely ubiquitous computing environment. So what is then ubiquitous computing environment? We know RFIDs, radio frequency identifications, tags, cards, wireless communications, equipment, sensors, reflectors, processors, mobile phones, computers, smart and intelligent gadgets through ambient intelligence are all around us. These are making life much easier in office or the classroom settings or at home, from a chair to a door, anything that is intelligent, that is becoming intelligent, that is linked with the sensors and the processors and softwares, which realizes what we want and how we want them, those to react to our needs, our demands. That's why the right way in defining the U-learning is to learn the right thing at the right place, right time, and in a right way or a manner through ubiquitous computing environment. Then there must be some key characteristics of the ubiquitous learning. That what characteristics make the ubiquitous learning environment distinct from the M learning or E learning. The first and foremost key characteristic of U learning is its permanency. The information remains unless the learner purposefully removes it. It is there always. Accessibility is another key feature. The information is always available whenever the learner needs to use it. Immediacy, it is just a click away. You just click and you have the information required. Interactivity, the learner can interact with his peers, with his co-workers, with his teachers, the experts, fellows, in an effective and efficient manner using different media platforms. Context awareness is an interesting characteristic. Environment can adapt to the learner's real situation to provide adequate information for the learners. Seamless learning, it is incessant, it is continuous, there is no interruption while you are learning. Self-regulated learning, When you are learning, it is one of the key characteristics that it is self-regulated. Learner adopts his own pace, he can check his own progress and make the changes accordingly. And the last characteristic is actively provides personal services based on the context around learner, the surroundings. The U-learning system would actively provide personalized support to the learners by the right way, the right place, and at the right time. If we sum up this whole discussion, we could say a device which takes place some input, manipulate the data as per instruction and produces result as a computer is called a computer. What is a computer? A computer takes some input, manipulates the data as per our instruction and produces the results. That is what the computer does. All such devices are called computers like mobile, calculator, laptop, etc. Computing power data sense, data process and produce the result. When we integrate computing power in all devices around us, that is an interesting and important thing. When we integrate computing power in all devices around us, be that in kitchen, in a classroom, in a home, in a bedroom, when we integrate the computing power in those objects around us, we change those common objects into smart objects. A smart object must have then three characteristics. Number one, it must sense. Number two, it must be able to process. And the third is must produce result and communicate as per our instructions. By making computers available and effectively invisible through the physical environment is called ubiquitous learning environment. Such environment can be in the office, can be in the classroom, or could be at home. That is ubiquitous learning environment. That is all for today. Hopefully you have enjoyed the session today. Thank you very much and Allah Hafiz.